Yeah. We are live, gentlemen.
What's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Dr. Fit live stream. I am your host, Dr. Mohammed Hamouda, and with me I have Coach Seif.
What's up, guys? What's up, docs?
And today we have a special guest, Dr. Piontkowski. He is a family medicine physician who did amazing things over the last 16 weeks, and he is still going. He lost a total of 30.2 pounds in 16 weeks.
Let's go, Tim.
Let's
Yep.
go. Let's
Oh,
go. Great job, Tim.
amazing.
So, guys, our hope today is, for you guys to learn a little bit about Tim. He is a physician. He's a family medicine physician, very busy. He's got lots going on in life, but he said, "Hey, I need to make my health a priority," and he got the job done. So, Tim, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I've been in family medicine for 35 years now, and take care of a lot of patients, get lots of questions about weight, obesity. Um, Gave them the standard things because didn't have a lot of good information. Um, I did a brief time during my residency, a preventive medicine rotation. So I was able to help out in some of those ways. I've had an interest in nutrition for a long time. And you would talk to patients about weight and obesity, and then I started to look at myself in the mirror and what happened to me. And over the years, my weight started to increase. Um, I wasn't feeling the best, physically or emotionally for that matter. I was tired all the time. I was really getting burned out, chalking it up to, the burnout of medicine and the grind of seeing the patients, clicking the boxes, getting your metrics in. Um, and I started to realize, I'm going to be looking at retirement in the near future, and it's like, I got to do something else. This isn't working. This isn't working. And of course, at this time, all the GLP-1 medications were out. People were always patients asking all about them all the time. And I was considering, do I really want to go that route? Is there another option? I did try intermittent fasting for several months and lost only about 5 pounds. Realized that I kind of like eating breakfast and that really wasn't for me. Um, So it was just a struggle, just trying to watch the weight. I was never a very athletic person, never really worked out. I kept busy. I do live on some property, and so I maintain that, um, and get some exercise, but it's not on a consistent basis. Um, and then I came across the Dr. Fit group, and I thought, okay, they're telling me you don't have to cut carbs, you don't have to work out in the gym. It's like, what's the deal with this? Are they going to be pushing more pills, or are they an SL or a GLP-1 mill that are going to be doing something? And after I found out some more information, um, still was hesitant. Um, Sat on that for a while and then decided finally, you know what? Maybe this makes sense. Maybe these guys know some of the secrets that I don't know, and I'll take the risk and work with them and see what I can come up with. Um, and then so I did. I actually had signed up, but didn't really start the program for I think it was almost a month because I knew that I would be traveling out of town for a conference, and I didn't think it would be fair to start this program while at a conference. So I wanted to give myself some time to kind of get into the program before I started doing any traveling and that kind of thing. Um, and then started the program. I will admit I was surprised. I didn't know that I was drinking far less water than what I should be drinking. My protein intake was far less than what I should be having. Um, and initially it's kind of like you would work to get your meal plates. My luckily my wife was very supportive. She's had her own weight journeys and was helpful with me for that and trying to get the energy plates and the weight loss plates and get the protein on first. And we pulled out the food scales and we're measuring things religiously and reporting those because that is important. And about 6 weeks into the program, I started noticing physical changes in me. I started to have a bit more energy. I felt that I could move a little bit easier than what I used to move. Um, we had a storm that came through and blew down a big tree on our property. And so I spent about 4.5 hours cutting it up without any breaks and wasn't that tired at the time. So I was starting to notice more and more changes, and then the further on in the program, I noticed more changes too. And soon I found that my clothes were fitting looser. Um, my lab coat wasn't as tight any longer. People were starting to notice. And now it's come to the point where, I saw patients 6 months ago and they're coming back in for recheck appointments and they're looking at me like, did you lose weight? You look different. Is it your haircut? Um,
Do they ask, are you okay, Doc?
yes, they always ask, are you okay? Are you feeling okay?
Right.
Um,
Nowadays, you lose weight. I hear that's the normal thing. That's the normal question. Everybody just asks, are you okay? Everything okay? They think that you're sick or something, right?
Yeah, they'll ask that, and then when I say no, this is self-induced, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to get healthier. Are you on the drugs? And it's like,
Mm,
no, no, I'm doing it the old-fashioned way.
nice.
And um,
The sustainable way,
what's
right?
what's and it is sustainable, and
Mm,
that's the other thing that I was looking for is something that I could continue to do and not rely on powders and potions and prepared meals and that kind of thing. So I'm hopeful that I can continue with this and um, because I mean, it was certainly effective. I won't admit, I'll admit that there were some hiccups and I wasn't completely perfect, and none of us are. And the weight loss, though it was, if you looked at my graph, it is kind of a steady downward, but there are those little peaks and valleys that we go through as well. Um, and I remember, you guys were telling me that you just trust the program, trust the program, trust the program. And it's like, yeah, but yeah, but I didn't lose. What's going on? Just trust the program and keep up with it. And then there was one stretch where it was a little bit trying, and I talked to coach, and he said, "We can fix this." And so he looked at all my information and made some recommendations and then I followed through with that and then sure enough the weight started coming off again. So the I found it to be sustainable. I found it easier to do. And what was nice is that, we could use our own foods as long as they were approved and on our lists that we had. And now I'm at the point where my food list has expanded. I'm trying to get more calories in now into the reset program. And so that's a little bit of a challenge. So but we're getting there. I have learned to, even though I'm still not a big fan of working out and exercise every morning. I will be on a treadmill for 25 minutes or so to get myself going. And I actually had taken a trip where I found myself in the workout room of the hotel for my first time ever, and
Nice.
was able
I love
to
it.
get on their treadmill for a while and get myself going. So that was kind of an interesting experience, but it is
What a
possible.
huge win.
What's that?
What a huge win. I mean, you
Yeah.
ended up in a hotel gym for the first time ever, right? That's mindset right there.
The and the other nice thing too is that now I can talk to patients about weight loss with more information than what I had before. And I know I told you, Coach, probably about 2 months ago, I had talked to a patient and she had come in and it was asking me about my weight loss and what did I do. And I told her, single ingredient foods, you need to shop in the perimeter of your grocery store. And she took that to heart. And I saw her back about 6 to 8 weeks later, and she lost 20 pounds.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So
Nice.
she was a larger woman, but still 20 pounds was significant.
Wow.
And she said she felt better. Said that she could continue to do this. And uh, I think, having some of that knowledge that now I can talk to patients with some assertion that I went through this, I know you can do it too, and you don't need the shots.
Right.
So it's just a matter of, trying to get that communication and get that information that, most of us unfortunately don't get in our training.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Guys, let's
absolutely.
take a moment here. Let me see some muscle emojis. Let me see some fires. Let me see
Do it.
something in the comments. Give Tim some props here, guys.
Yeah,
Because he's
guys.
not only
Amazing.
affecting his life, but he's
Yeah.
practicing what he preaches. And this is carrying on to his patients' lives as well, especially as a family medicine physician. I mean, longitudinal care, right? This is like 2/3 of the population are overweight or obese. So talk about impact. Tim, I want to take us back because I'm the one who hopped on the original call.
Yep.
And I'm put in this situation where I know I have surety in the process because I went through it too. And when I'm on there and I'm talking to you guys and I'm like, yes, you guys are the perfect candidates. But there's this little voice in your head at the end. You guys love the program. And then at the end, there's this little voice in your head. I could see your wheels turning. In my head, I'm like, man, I know what your reality is going to be like in 16 weeks, Tim. I know what it's like. And you actually delayed maybe 2 to 3 months from that original call
Yeah.
I sat with you. So you could have actually been in this position 2 to 3 months earlier. Take me to that, like, what was going on in your head there? And take me to that moment. What was going on in your head?
I I I I I guess I just wasn't quite mentally ready to commit to it at that point. And then as I just continued to stew about it, and I thought about it over those 2 to 3 months, um, trying to figure out, okay, can I do this? What can I do? How am I supposed to do it? It's like, I don't have a clue. And if I don't have a clue, then what do I have to lose? And so here I am 30 pounds lighter.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Congrats. Yeah, amazing story, man. And just to like jump in there and just I forgot, completely forgot that you had shared that you're now practicing what you preach and that story about the lady that came to you as a patient, right? And imagine she only applied one of
Yeah.
our, of our metrics that we put into the program, right? The simple seven. Imagine how this can change your patient's life when they start applying all the things we give you, right? All the tools to continue, right? And she only did one of those. So that's amazing, right? So I want to take you back real quick, Tim, too, and ask you a few questions, man. I mean, when you said that you, first of all, I want to mention this to everybody that's watching, Muhammad, you too. Like I've said this, and Tim is one of my A+ students. Like I'm just gonna put it out there. This guy has been amazing, and so I appreciate that, Tim, because you trusted the process, like you said. You jumped in. There was never a perfect. It wasn't always perfect, and I say that all the time. It's never going to be perfect, right? There is no such thing as us losing weight in this like downward, slope. It's always going to have its little peaks, right? And you stuck in there, you trusted the process. That Tim, you plateaued a little bit. Let's tweak a little thing. And you're like, okay, let's do it. And every time you just, you start dropping. And 16 weeks later, you dropped over 30 pounds, 30.2. So it was amazing, man. So I want to, first of all, congratulate you
Right.
for, the
Hey,
willpower, the mindset that you put
yeah.
towards, jumping on all our private doc calls, right? That was amazing because these are the things that, I would say helped you become the A+ student. And correct me if I'm wrong, right? You were jumping on, and it was just more and more certainty as you jump on these calls, right? I say like I really don't remember you missing calls, right? And I say that all the time. So it wasn't about perfection. I didn't even know you were weighing foods. I just found that out now. Maybe you mentioned it, but you don't even need to weigh foods. But that's the A+. You were actually weighing foods. Like the program calls for you not to weigh foods, but Tim, on the background, you were just that calculated. You're like, I'm going to weigh my foods. So that's amazing. That's something new that I just realized. But yeah, I mean, great, amazing story, man. Before you jumped in, and like Muhammad said, there was some doubt. Was it doubt from like just failing over the years? You did IF. What else did you do that made you so kind of like worried about the process? Was there other programs, other diet programs that failed you? Or was it just the IF and that's what you
No,
were doing?
yeah, no, I actually didn't do any other diet programs. I had just like many of the other docs, it was kind of the nose to the grindstone, keep working, seeing patients, and get things going. Trying to, start a practice, keep the practice going, helping the community when we can. And it was just putting my own health on the back burner. And as I started to get older and realized that, you know what, this isn't sustainable. And it's like, now I look back and I wish I could have done this 20 years ago. So if there are, the younger docs out there, and if they've had issues, I'd say, address it now because it doesn't get any easier later. And it's going to help you out really in the long run by doing it earlier than later. Although I am glad that I was able to do this, um, and certainly gave me a lot of tools that I think I can sustain it as well, and discuss that with my patients and teach that to them. In fact, I had a patient this past week who used the phrase, well, it looks like now it looks like you practice what you preach now.
Oh, nice. Wow.
So it's
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
kind of one of those things, the more you know, and now that I've been through it and I know that it wasn't horrible and that it was very doable, that I think I can to help to educate patients a lot more about that.
That's awesome, man. And just to remind anybody who's watching, Tim, you're 64 years young, man. That's amazing, right? So a lot of times we get docs on the call and they're worried about like, oh, now I'm in my upper 30s or 40s. Is it going to work for me? Well, you're living proof.
Yeah.
Apply the processes. We got something here for you. Just put it into play, trust the process. And 64 years old, it's just an age, right? When's the last time you were in this type of shape? What do you think? How long ago was it?
Oh, decades. I was thinking about that today, and it's like, I kind of feel physically now like I did when I was in my late 30s.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Wow, that's awesome, Tim.
So, I mean, my knees don't ache anymore, my hips don't ache anymore. Um, uh, so like I said, I can move around a lot easier than what I can, and when I go popping in and out of my exam rooms all the time, it makes it much nicer.
Awesome. Tim, I got to mention, man, a couple of months ago, you said something mind blowing to me. And it was like, you have been on BP meds for 16 years.
Yeah.
And you just casually one day, we were on a call in our coaching call, and you were like, Oh yeah, by the way, I'm off my blood pressure medication. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So after 16 years, like again, this is one of the things mindset wise, docs get on the call and they're thinking it's familial, it's genetics. I'm not going to be able to come off this med, right? What would you say to them? I mean, you were on for 16 years.
Yeah, oh yeah, you can.
Yeah.
After about 8 weeks, I started getting dizzy and lightheaded in the middle of the afternoon. Thought,
Mm.
oh, I'm probably dehydrated. I'll get some water and drink some more water. And then it kept happening. It's like, oh, you know what? I better go check my blood pressure. And so I was running around in the afternoon with a blood pressure of 90 over 50 and thought, okay,
Wow.
well, we're gonna have to start. Let's cut it in half. I don't want to stop it right away. Let's cut it in half.
Right.
And the dizziness went away after I did that. And then about 3 weeks later, that familiar dizziness started coming back. And I thought, no, can't be. Yep, sure enough, 90 over 50. And it's like, well, I guess we're going to be done with the blood pressure medicine. And
Amazing. That's
so
awesome, man.
it is
Congrats.
possible you can do that. You'll feel better. You'll have less heartburn issues. Um, and you
Yeah.
can certainly get off your blood pressure medicines for sure.
Right. Yeah, we have had doctors come off of statins. We had doctors come off metformin, right? So these are the things that, are possible. It's just sometimes the only block is sometimes the mental. Like that's the biggest thing sometimes. Like let's change the mindset and see what we can do before we start with a mind frame of or a mindset of saying, oh, I don't think I'll ever be able to get off. I'm going to be all on for the rest of my life. Well, let's see where it takes us, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
absolutely, great job, Tim.
Great
Anything
job.
else, Mohammed, for him?
Yeah, and also Tim, it's not like you got any. Another thing I hear from docs is, I'm too busy. I can't do this. I don't have time to do this. It's not like you got any less busier when you went through this, right?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, what do you have to say to the docs who continue to put their health on the back burner?
Yeah, don't. Um, I'm one of my partners says, we're the dinosaurs of medicine now. And we weren't in the past, but we are now. But we were put your nose to the grindstone, go see that extra patient, work that extra hour. Um, the physicians today that are coming out are more that work-life balance that frankly I just ignored a lot. And I don't know if that's helpful at all or not, but I still see a lot of overweight young docs that are coming out of residency too. And it's just a matter of, address this now. Don't let it go.
Yeah, I was one of them. I mean, I was 27 pounds overweight and creeping on obese, and I was 33 years old, and then I got into the program and knocked it off. And thank God I did that because I get to meet wonderful docs like you and like create a community of individuals and professionals that, have a lot of social impact, right, on those that are around us, right? And obesity being one of the, if we could just solve that, right, and get our patients to, lose and shed that weight, a lot of these chronic diseases will go away. But it has to start with us.
Yeah, I agree. I
Have
agree.
see if you think it's time for a rapid fire.
Yeah, Tim, we're gonna thank you for your time. Just a few rapid fire questions like we like to do, and then close it out here with Mohammed ending here. Yeah, so real quick, I mean, a lot of times people think, again, intermittent fasting or really going caloric deficit and starving themselves. Like, did you have to starve yourself on the program?
No, most of the time I actually felt satisfied.
Yeah,
I'll say there were some nights where I felt like, yeah, I could have used some more, but I really don't want to because I know that I'm going to continue to lose.
yeah,
But there weren't any like, oh, you get those bad hunger pains, like, oh my gosh, I gotta get to that. I didn't feel the need to snack as much.
good,
Um, I,
awesome.
I think the higher protein intake was a big help for that. So you know that whole situation wasn't that bad. Um, Now that my calorie intake is increased, now I can snack a little bit more. I just got to be
Absolutely.
smarter as far as what I'm snacking on, but well, but but I can certainly see that in the future. So that's you know something to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for anybody who's watching now, Tim is continuing with us. You know, he's lost all the weight he wants. He's come off with blood pressure medication. As you've heard, guys, he feels like he's in his 30s, right? But now we're actually increasing our basal metabolic rate, right? Now we're increasing calories, right? So we do have to go into a little bit of a deficit, right, to create some weight loss. And then there's a science behind actually increasing calories, which you're going through, right? And what's the fear there? Like you said, coach, I'm worried about bringing calories back in, right? So sometimes we're so used to, thinking of calories as negative, like, eating too many calories. It's a lot of times it's the type of calories, right? The type of food, the quality of the food. So now we're bringing back calories. And a lot of times my docs are hesitant, but they find out real quick. We can bump them up 4, 5, 6, sometimes even 1,000 more calories in the day without them gaining weight, right? So you're doing amazing, man. You're on that reset. Did you have to sit at home and and become a hermit and not go anywhere? Did I tell you not to go to social functions, or you can't go to any parties or go on travel? Was there anything like that?
No, we still, you know, we still went out and about. I didn't tend to, I really haven't been someone that frequents the fast food restaurants a lot. Um, in fact, I still haven't had any pizza.
What? Oh
So
my
I am
goodness.
missing that a little bit,
Wow.
and I'm planning to try at least a couple slices in the near future here.
This is the time to do it, man. We're bringing we're starting to trying to rev up the calories more. Go
Right,
have your
You're
pizza.
yeah,
I
off
want you to
limit.
have pizza this weekend.
exactly.
Hold
But
on, hold on. Can I stop you? Coach, did you just tell him have pizza? His homework is to have pizza this weekend.
Absolutely, man. These
Look at
guys
that.
have to have, they get such full certainty in the process of that foods are not, it's not. So here's the thing, right? Let's frame this correctly. I'm not saying pizza every day. That's what's going to get us in trouble.
yeah.
But eating out a couple times a week, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, going on vacation, being able to maintain, not a problem anymore. And having your pizza a few slices a week, not a problem. Burgers and fries, not a problem, right? Because you're living with consistency, not perfection. Nobody's perfect, even after nearly 30 years of a fit pro, right? Being in the business and doing what I'm doing for 30 years is I've never been perfect, and you don't have to be. So absolutely. Pizza is on the board. Any last questions for him, Mohammed?
No, I just want to speak to those
Yeah.
docs who are on the fence. All right. We heard Tim say it here right now, right? Just do it. It's better to do this now, right? Every day that you regret getting healthier, right? Is every day that passes that you're not on the path to health and sustainability is a day that you're going to regret because that's what builds your foundation for the future. And Tim's about to enter retirement. So, Tim, I think I'm just having this
So
vision.
it's a ways away yet, so not
Oh,
quite yet, but
okay. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. But
the
I just
light's at the end of the tunnel though.
at the time, but I just have this vision that you're going to be in the park, on the beach and doing these calisthenics and stuff and muscle up. I don't know. That's just what I have in my mind. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But whatever the case may be, guys, if you want to join a supportive community of docs, of professionals that use evidence-based protocols in order to lose weight sustainably, I want you guys to type in the comments. Tim, there's a tradition of ours. We let you decide what they should type in the comments. What should they type?
Just do it.
There
Just
you
do
go.
it.
Just
Type
like Nike, just do it.
Let's do
There you
it.
go.
Type just do it in the comments, guys. Basically, what that does is prompt the conversation. Okay. It's a completely free consultation. But, docs, make sure this is in the right place. Make sure you want to make a change. If you want to make a change, come on over. We have a discussion. We put yourself on a protocol that is sustainable. You lose weight and you join a community of docs who are doing the same. So if you're interested, just do it in the comments and one of us will reach out. Well,
Awesome.
I got no more
Thank
questions.
you.
Tim, I just
Thank
see in the comments now, people are giving you some muscle ups. They're saying Doc Tim is an inspiration. We've got some claps in there. So
Yeah.
great job, man. And
Yeah.
thanks for spending the time to talk with us.
Yeah.
That's all
Thank you,
right.
Tim. Thank you.
All
And we'll
right.
see you in our private call in a
Here.
few minutes.
All
Thanks.
right.
Bye
Bye.
bye.